Hello there, my name's Richard Lupton. I'm the Open Events Manager at Global Adventure Challenges. Thank you so much for joining us today for our presentation on European Cycling Challenges in 2017. Today we're going to be predominantly focusing on our London to Paris Tour de France Challenge, which this year will be seeing 600 participants cycle the iconic route from London to Paris. We'll also be touching on a couple of other European cycling events that you can promote out to your supporters, including one that's absolutely brand new and will be launched on this presentation today. So without further ado, what I'll like to do is just run through exactly what we'll be covering today and tell you a bit more about us guys at Global Adventure Challenges. So first of all, we're going to be looking at what makes us different as a company, why choose Global Adventure Challenges, and why promote our challenge events to your supporters. Secondly, we're going to be having a look at the cycling events for 2017. Predominantly, we are going to be focusing on the London to Paris Tour de France event. It's the biggest of its kind in the market. We have just under 600 participants taking part in the ride this year, and we really want you to be part of it and benefit from its success. We're also going to be letting you know about some other fantastic European bike rides, and we will actually be launching a fantastic new event live on this webinar. We're also going to be looking at marketing your challenge, looking at demographics, who's taking part in these events, who to market to, and also some best practice that we've seen from in and around the sector. We're going to be giving you some important dates for your diary, when to promote these events out, certain things not to miss to ensure that you're making the best out of your promotion. And we're also going to be taking questions from you. So we'll just let you know how to do that very shortly indeed. So if you have any questions or queries at all throughout the course of this webinar, we would love to hear from you. So please email enquiries@globaladventurechallenges.com. Alternatively, if you're watching this webinar on YouTube, please enter your question in the comments section and we'll address it at the end of the webinar. So what makes Global Adventure Challenges different? First of all, over our 16 years in existence, we've worked with over 1,500 charities in the provision of exciting charity challenge events. Through those challenges, participants taking part in them have raised in excess of £30 million for good causes up and down the UK. And we're currently working in 36 countries worldwide and have 120 challenges scheduled in for 2016 and counting. All of that gives us a great amount of experience, but also on the other side, we want to deliver a fantastic service to not only you guys at the charities, but also to your supporters as well. There's a clear division in the business as to who does that. So from the participant side of things, we've got a wonderful dedicated customer care team who are there to answer any questions or queries that your supporters have in the lead up to the event. Also from your side, you are assigned your own dedicated charity account manager. So if you have a problem, if you need more information, if you have any questions whatsoever, you don't need to go around the houses and speak to different people within the business. Just speak to your own dedicated account manager and they can help with any question or query. Really, really pertinent to what we're talking about today are our UK and European events team. All of our UK and European events are organised, controlled and staffed by our fantastic team in our offices in Chester. It gives us a real difference, I think, in the sector that we have this consistency of staffing throughout our events. When you're on a global challenge, if you do London to Paris this year and do it next year, you'll see exactly the same faces, whether you want to or not, staffing the event. And it's a real family feel. We've got a really wonderful team of trusted freelance staff and wonderful event managers who only work on our events. And because of that, they're used to our ways of working, used to the standards that we expect on our challenges, and it really brings a consistency right across our UK and European challenges. Also, price, big thing, I know. Everybody wants challenges to be as cheap as humanly possible, and we try and create that balance between the quality that we provide, whilst also providing our challenges at a fantastic level of cost to make them really competitive within the market. And also, finally, inspiration. I mean, I think what you'll find through this presentation, and certainly if you have a look through our website, is some really exciting events. We're always trying to come up with something new, the next big thing, and certainly with the events that we've got on offer today, hopefully you'll see some challenges that will really inspire your supporters to get out there and raise some really important funds for your charity.
So I just wanted to put some faces to names in our open events team and charity account management team. So on this slide, you'll see myself, Richard Lupton, Emma McMahon and Dan Lodge. And as I say, we're your one-stop call for anything you need really within the business. So no need to go around the houses and speak to different departments here at Global Adventure Challenges. Just speak to your own dedicated charity account manager and they can provide you with information on participants, promotional materials, and we can even go as far as to speak to participants, speak to inquiries on your behalf, just to try and enthuse them about their prospective challenge.
So just wanted to give you a bit of history on London to Paris. Our first bike ride was actually in 2008 with about 50 participants on it. We knew we had a really great event and some fantastic staff working on it. So over the following 2 years, we actually grew that to 3 London to Paris challenges each year. One in April, one in July and one in September. Historically, the September challenge was always our most popular event. It went out later on in the year, so it gave people that opportunity to train through the summer. All of that changed in 2012, inspired by what we'd seen in the Tour de France with Bradley Wiggins finishing with the yellow jersey, and also in the Olympics with British success in the time trials and Velothon. We decided to coincide our July date with the final stage of the Tour de France. Within a couple of months of launch, we'd sold out of all 200 places on the event. It was a resounding success, and on the ground it was just absolutely fantastic as well. We got wonderful feedback. So after that event in 2013, we steadily looked to increase the numbers that we can take to meet demand. So we introduced a second route, and rather than selling out in August, we sold out in October. And finally, for 2016, we introduced a third route. So this year we've got 3 routes going out to Paris to see the final stage of the tour, and just shy of 600 cyclists taking part in the event. In 2017, we want to grow the number of people taking part in European bike rides. We're still looking at 3 routes going over to Paris for the Tour de France. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be introducing a really new, fantastic, exciting bike ride to entice your supporters onto 2 wheels. So I just wanted to introduce a few statistics on London to Paris Tour de France before we look at 2017. So far in 2016, based purely on minimum sponsorship participants, we're expecting over £500,000 to be raised for good causes up and down the UK on the London to Paris Challenge. That's only counting minimum sponsorship participants. As you well know, many people self-fund their own challenges and go on to raise amazing amounts for their chosen charities. So I'd expect that figure to probably be closer to somewhere in the region of about £600,000 or £700,000, which is a huge amount. So what we want to give you today, the tools to make sure that your supporters in 2017 make up some of that number and you're getting some of that cash towards your good cause. So what's in store for London to Paris Tour de France 2017? We will be running 3 routes over to the final stage of the Tour de France, each approximately 300 miles long and each with a capacity of 220 participants. These routes are going to be released periodically, so we'll be releasing, well, Route 1 is open as things stand at the moment, so you can promote that straight away, and over the coming months we'll be releasing Route 2 and Route 3. If people want to get involved, your supporter will need to pay an initial non-refundable registration fee of £125, and then they have two choices as to how they fund their challenge. They can either self-fund and pay £750 as a challenge balance 8 weeks prior to the event taking place. Alternatively, they can pledge to raise £1,500 for your charity, of which £750 will go on costs, and you will see a fantastic £750 net donation for your charity. Obviously, anything they raise over and above that amount will come directly to you. So why promote our London to Paris bike ride? The first point I'd like to make is capacity. We are not going to sell out overnight. We've worked really, really hard to make sure we've got these 3 fantastic routes and a really large amount of capacity so that you can promote it with confidence, knowing that we're not going to sell out overnight. Like all of our open challenges, it is completely risk-free. So we're not asking you to buy places, guarantee numbers, or financially commit to the event in any way. We're confident that the event stands up on its own, and if you promote it out to your supporters, you will get fantastic returns back from it, and your supporters will have an amazing time out in Paris. So what I want to do with the following next slides is just show you a bit more about the participants who are taking part in London to Paris 2016. First up, I've got a heat map of where our participants hail from in the UK, and this is just really to show you that it is a national event. We've got people from up and down the UK, even down in Guernsey towards the bottom of the screen, and yeah, it really does have a large reach. So don't be fooled into thinking this is a challenge just for people in the southeast, because they're close to the start location. It is a really national event. Looking at the ages of people taking part in the challenge, one standout statistic is that only 1% of people on London to Paris are aged under 20 years of age. If you've got a really big database and you're looking to segment it to cut down on email marketing costs, then certainly if you target people in between the ages of 30 and 60 years of age, you're going to be looking at about 81% of people taking part in the challenge come from that age range. Certainly if you're doing Facebook marketing as well, it's a really important age range to focus on. So do that and you shouldn't go far wrong. So a really popular misconception about London to Paris bike rides is that it's still the exclusive domain of the middle-aged man in Lycra. As this small graph shows you, over 40% of people taking part in the ride are female. So when you're going out with your marketing, please don't ignore women. Get the challenge in front of absolutely everybody and you'll really see a good return. So as I've touched on previously, I just wanted to explain some of the marketing support that we actually give you here at Global Adventure Challenges. So first of all, you are assigned your own dedicated charity account manager who is your one port of call in the business for any information you need. We can also provide you with hard copy brochures to hand out to inquirers as and when they contact you about the challenge. We can make follow-up calls to your inquirers. So we appreciate you never overstaffed in a fundraising office. So let us do the heavy lifting. Let us speak to these inquirers on your behalf, and we can certainly hope to enthuse them about the challenge and answer any questions that they may have about it. We can give you social media marketing advice. We've got the wonderful Jess in our marketing team who's a real social media whiz. So anything to do with that, we can help you out. We can create your own branded online registration links. I'm sure many of you have seen these in the past, and essentially we brand up our registration system with your logo and your contact details, so that to all intents and purposes, when someone presses book now on your website, it looks like an extension of your website, and it just carries that branding through. Also, we provide you with high resolution images from the challenge itself. Each year we'll take a photographer along on each route just to ensure that we capture the best images that we can. Fingers crossed we'll get some of your guys wearing your charity t-shirts on the event, and obviously we'll provide these to you free of charge as well. If you are looking to brand up the promotional materials, the PDF brochures, we can put your contact details and your charity's logo, so you can send those out to inquirers by email. And also, if you want to tag us in posts, we will retweet and share on Facebook and widen the scope of your social media marketing. So when it comes to marketing the challenge, a great starting point is piggybacking the pro race and the media circus that goes on around it. If you've got cycling enthusiasts in your supporter base, I can guarantee that some of them will be sat watching the Tour de France as it unfolds over the coming month. The pro race starts on the 2nd of July, and this is a fantastic time to start your social media campaign. Let people know that you have this ride available and that they can see the final stage of the Tour de France in person. During the race, pick up on any news stories that are coming out about the race. Certainly any British success always helps, so try and highlight that and also link it back to the challenge. And then certainly as the winner is coming through at the end of the race, try and get the message out of what you're doing watching it on TV. Why not watch it in person next year by cycling London to Paris? Another thing to take into account as well is try and keep on at these people who've shown an interest, who have visited your page, who have liked your Facebook posts through Facebook or Google remarketing. It's a really, really useful tool just to keep that message going out to people who've already expressed some kind of an interest. If you're planning to get this challenge out in front of your supporters, 2016 is a really great year to be doing it, because once the Tour de France is out of the way, coming quick on its heels are the Olympics and Paralympics. This challenge is built on the back of the success of the cycling teams in the 2012 Olympics. People like Bradley Wiggins, Sarah Storey and Laura Trott really inspired a nation to get on two wheels. We're expecting a very similar effect this year. So again, keep that social media story going through and keep on linking it back to the challenge that you're promoting.
So hopefully what we've discussed today has really shed some light on how the London to Paris Tour de France 2017 event can benefit your charity and hopefully inspire your supporters to get out there and raise some really important funds. I'm sure some of you are sat there with a database with an awful lot of people on it who've taken part in London to Paris bike rides in the past. And one of the great challenges is how to inspire these people to come back and take part in another challenge for you. Over the next couple of slides, I want to introduce a couple of really amazing events, including one that's absolutely brand new for 2017 that will hopefully do just that and get people out fundraising for you.
One thing that we've been really focused on at Global Adventure Challenges is how to inspire these guys who have taken part in London to Paris in the past. A resounding success earlier on this year was our inaugural Roubaix challenge. For those of you who haven't heard about the Roubaix challenge, this is another event that links in with a professional cycling race, giving your supporters the opportunity to cycle in the tyre tracks of the greats. It's going to be taking place on the 6th to the 10th of April 2017. And again, as I say, you can actually watch the pros come through the day after you finish your challenge. It's a 2-day bike ride from London to Lille, cycling 155 miles, with the option to take part in the amateur race of the Paris to Roubaix on day 3. We've got 3 different routes on that final day, so you can really put yourself to the test on the Napoleonic cobbles and what's often classed as the Hell of the North. So it's a real step up from London to Paris, and hopefully something for your cycling supporters to get their teeth into. So finally, our new event for 2017 is our spiffing new Paris to Geneva bike ride, taking place on the 23rd to the 28th of July next year. Participants on this event actually get to see the final stage of the tour before they embark on their 4-day bike ride, covering 358 miles over to Switzerland. As part of the ride, the participants will take on the hairpin bends of Col de la Facile, which has often formed part of Tour de France stages in the past. Not an easy bike ride by any stretch of the imagination, but with a real payoff in finishing with a champagne finish at the famous Lake Geneva. This bike ride also includes airfare back to the UK as well, which is quite unique in the market. So a fantastic event to complement your other challenges that you're offering at the moment, and certainly to inspire those seasoned cyclists back onto another bike ride.
So if you want to make contact on social media, tweet us at GlobalAdv, like us at Global Adventure Challenges on Facebook. And also, if you'd like some of our social media resources when it comes to marketing on social media, please contact marketing@globaladventurechallenges.com, and we can send you a lot more information on Facebook marketing, retargeting, and everything else that we do here at Global.
So finally, how do you get involved with these fantastic rides? Really simple. Either get in contact with your charity account manager if you know who they are. Alternatively, please get in touch with open@globaladventurechallenges.com. Send an email over to that address, and within 24 hours you'll receive a call or an email from your dedicated account manager. And from there, we'll be able to provide you with all of the promotional materials that you need to make this challenge promotion a success in 2017.
So yeah, we've just been collating the questions from you guys out there listening to the webinar. So thanks for sending these through. First of all, we've got a question about ages of people on challenges. How old do you need to be? Well, the minimum age is 18. We also accept people aged 14 to 17, as long as they're accompanied by a parent or guardian on the event. There's no upper age limit. As long as you're healthy and you're able to complete the ride, then we'd love to have you on the event. We've also had an email about the costs for Roubaix and Paris to Geneva. So essentially with the Roubaix challenge, because of the differences in routes that you take on that third day on the challenge, that feeds into a difference in registration fees. So there's 4 different options ranging from £99 to £155. The minimum sponsorship is really low. It's 1,390, of which you'd retain from a minimum sponsorship participant £695. Also, for the Paris to Geneva bike ride, there's a registration fee of £149, and the minimum sponsorship for that is 1,760. And again, there's that 50-50 split when it comes to the amount of funds you're going to retain. So you're looking at a net donation, a minimum net donation for each person taking part of £950. So what I'll do is I'll post a link to these events pages in the comment section of the webinar on YouTube. Just to let you know as well, if you want to review the webinar that we've done today, then you can do. It is going to be held on YouTube from here on in. So if you want to review it at a later date and go over some of the points that we've raised, then you can certainly do that by clicking the link that you've used today. So one thing I also wanted to touch on is that the rides that we've offered today aren't the only European bike rides that we do. We just wanted to focus on these rides as these are the ones that tie in with a professional cycling race, and we've seen an awful lot of interest in that side of the market. We also offer a Eurocity bike ride, which is absolutely fantastic, really nice and flat, and certainly if people are after their first foray into a European cycling event, then that's a fantastic one to go for. And also we do a Milan to Monaco challenge, which is our more glamorous of the European bike rides. And again, it's going great guns in 2016, and we're only expecting it to grow again in 2017. So as I said, those are the only questions that we've received, but certainly if you have any more, just to reiterate that slide earlier, please feel free to either email or call into the office, speak to your account manager, or email open@globaladventurechallenges.com, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. So thank you so much for listening and being part of the webinar today. And yeah, fingers crossed we'll see some of your supporters on these challenges in 2017.